Welcome to the first official episode of South of King's Landing, the Explosion Network's Game of Thrones after show, where this week, myself, Jack, and Ashley will be discussing the trials, tribulations, reveals, epic moments, and everything else that is Game of Thrones premiere, Season 7, Episode 1, called Dragonstone. So, my first note I wrote down, holy shit, that was like a 2-minute fucking previously on scene. I was like, wow, is this fucking scene going to end? It's like, previously on, we're just going to show you the entirety of the last season before we actually start the episode.
Well, it's been like 12 plus months almost, so...
They showed, yeah, I appreciate that, to be honest. And they showed...
I liked it, but...
They showed things from, like, almost... Like, and the way they did it was they showed sort of... Every single thing that happened in the episode this week, they showed something that related to that. Like,
related to it, yeah.
Thing with the Hound, like, everything. Stuff from Season 1. There was stuff from, like, the first episode that they showed. So, it was... I appreciate it. It was a long...
It was like... I was watching it and going... Oh, in case you forgot, because it's been over a year, and how dense Game of Thrones
Or you've never
can
watched
be,
the show.
Here is all this fucking information.
Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, and then that, and that character, and that, and then, like, these two people that were in a cabin once. It's like, okay.
Yes. Alright, so before
I appreciated that, though. I appreciated it.
Before running down, like, some of the moment-by-moment layout of the episode, just overall, did you enjoy the premiere? Or do you think it was a bit... Because it was a bit of a slow, big setup episode.
Yeah.
Like, it was an hour of... This episode was... It showed basically every character, I think, didn't it? Like, they spent like 10 minutes with every character nearly just to set up the rest of the season. Yeah. It was pretty slow. I quite enjoyed the episode, but I can see people being like, oh, it's a bit disappointing. So, what do you guys think, Jack?
I was... I enjoyed it. Only because I missed those characters and that, and there was a lot. They showed a bit of everything. The only people I don't think we saw were Bronn, who I believe is still alive, isn't he?
Don't remember him dying. So
Jamie's mate. Yeah, so I believe he's still alive. We didn't see him, and we didn't see the Dawn snake ladies. So we saw a minuscule amount of Daenerys, which is a tick for me. Not quite enough Jon Snow. It's one of those things, like, all the characters are great in the show, but I find myself being enthralled by and just wanting more and more of, like, the Jon White Walkers, reclaiming of Winterfell and all that storyline, and then the same thing with Cersei and Jaime, and now with the Ironborn coming into it. Like, those are the two storylines that I sort of care about, and the rest of it's the Hound and the Fire dudes, fine, I guess. What's her name?
Brienne?
No, not Brienne. The other Stark girl. Arya, yeah. Sorry, I just blanked completely. Again, her storyline is sort of wearing thin on me. There was totally unnecessary cameo of a celebrity, which I'm sure we'll go into later.
Yeah, okay, I'll bring that up in a minute. So, you liked it, though?
The episode I liked, yes. I liked, yes. I liked that it was just a setup, and I was sort of waiting for a big oh my god moment, and I think they added that first scene just for that, and I felt like that first scene was completely predictable as to what was happening and what was going to happen.
It was good. It was good.
It was a good episode though. I'm glad they did it.
Ash, did you like the premiere?
Yeah, it was good. It was what I expected from a premiere. That seems to be their formula to, like, every start of every season. It's a setup and check in on everybody, and so it felt like every other premiere.
They usually do this, and then they do this whole, like, they might not come back to one of the characters shown in the first episode for like 2-3 episodes. They're like, here's where the storyline's going to go this season, but we're kind of not going to come back to that for like a few episodes. And then they could spend the entire second episode just on Daenerys or Jon Snow or something like that.
And then spoilers for the ending for the last episode this season, they're probably going to do the same thing. And just check in on everybody right before the end.
This is true. All right, so let's run through. This is what we're going to do each and every week on the show. We're just going to run through moment by moments, through my notes, call out anything interesting or any thoughts you have as we go. So yeah, the episode opens with
a cold open.
Basically like a a link up from the last season. It's like, because obviously season 6 ended with the cool reveal of Arya, like, cannibalizing the stupid guy from Harry Potter, whatever his name is. Walter Frey.
Walter Frey.
Yeah, so I quite enjoyed it. It's interesting because they play that whole several minute scene out before even opening the credits, so it kind of does feel like just like a cut off to the last season and the credits. And it's like,
normally they start with credits,
7.
so it was a bit different.
Yeah, they usually start with credits, and you don't usually get scenes like this. So I was like, that's interesting. But nonetheless, it was a very predictable scene, as Jack
everybody knew what was coming.
Yeah,
but
I was sort of like,
predictable
it was
or not, I fucking enjoyed it as an Arya fan. So
yeah.
I was like, go girl.
I can take it or leave it, with the Arya storyline, like I said. So I guess it was good we had to see somebody die in this episode, so it was nice that they started with that. I still feel like they kind of just put that in as almost they got to the end of it and they're like, we didn't kill anyone, we need to put something in and let's have this.
I feel like it was just because of where her character was left. Maybe when they finished the last season, they weren't sure if they were going to have, like, drag out her dealing with the stuff there. But this was just a very quick, like, all right, she wipes everyone else out. Let's leave.
Yeah,
like, she's not there.
you're probably right. You're probably right.
Just quickly get that on with. And then, of course, they see, I keep having this thing up and down about how much the Night King and the White Walkers are actually going to be involved in this season. But after the opening credits scene, the first shot is of all the White Walkers walking and a heap of giants, which I'm like, did we really see that many, like, zombie giants before?
No.
Or
no. Looks like they've dug them up on their way to the...
Yeah. It was weird. Because I was like, surely they were saying there was only, like, 1 or 2 giants left alive. One of them was working for
with the wildlings.
The free folk or whatever.
Yeah.
He died. And now there's all these zombie ones. So I was like,
cool, they get to fight zombie giants. Can't complain about that. Can't complain.
No,
I mean,
certainly not.
I want to know how long it takes for them to walk, because Hardhome doesn't seem... I looked like at a map before the show.
There's zombies, Ash.
Hardhome doesn't seem that far away. And yet some other characters seem to be able to get from one section of the world to the other section of the world in a very short period of time.
Yeah,
a teenage girl dragging a paraplegic has been able to get there quicker than these fuckers. Come on. Come on,
funny
guys.
how
you can only suspend the disbelief for a certain amount.
Yeah.
They cut from the Night King and all the White Walkers, and they're just like, and here's Bran chilling with his dragging. Like, they've managed to make it from, like, where that tree or whatever was all the way on the other side of the fucking middle of nowhere, and she's dragging from there to the wall in what seems like a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the White Walkers don't have a sense of direction. They're just walking in circles.
Yeah. I'm not sure
they haven't got a map.
I mean,
they're dead, but they don't really need to rest either. Like, I don't understand, like, how it's taking them so long. I was sort of expecting for them to be almost at the wall, and that's going to be... So, yeah, I don't know how it's going to go.
When they were showing it, I was like, oh shit, they're just going to get to the wall in the first episode.
Yeah.
But
it was a cool shot, though, the reveal.
It was a very cool shot to open.
I'm guessing there's something behind it. They're pretty good at generally tying up loose ends in this show and not leaving plot holes. So I imagine it's maybe... they're going and collecting more sort of... So maybe they're not going directly there. They're making their way through. Yeah, and they're building it up.
That makes sense.
And sort of, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My guess.
Well, we do find out later in the episode... Well, we don't find out. We see further in the episode when we get to the Hound, his vision is of them crossing the wall where it meets the water. So that's like all the way down...
Yeah, so they're heading east.
Yeah.
East,
yeah, so they're not even, like, close to... Like, if that's what's really going to happen, if that was, like, a legit vision, then they're kind of a ways off crossing it, I suppose.
Yep.
So we get to Jack's favourite man, Mr. Jonathan Snow. There he is, in the kingdom.
King of the North.
He's King of the North, giving a big rousing speech about, we're going to take on the White Walkers, and every man, woman, child, fucking above the age of 10 is going to pick up a spear, and they're going to hunt for, was it dragon glass or whatever the fuck it is that can, because that can hurt White Walkers. And then one of the best characters, I fucking love this girl.
Yes.
She was one
She's
of
like,
the best
I don't need
things
you to
from-
fight for me.
Yeah, she was so good last
I
season.
think it's her name.
Yeah, Yeah, she was so good last
Lady
season
Mama.
too. The little girl that plays her though, she's just like every time she says something, it's just like so. She does like the stern so good. I love it. Like she doesn't sound like backing down. She just stands up. She's like, "Fuck you and fuck you and fuck your mother and fuck
Yeah.
you." Like,
Yeah, she
I
gives
do
you-
what I want. I know I'm a girl, but I'll fucking kick your ass before I let you protect the kingdom by yourself. Like I'm gonna stab.
She gives no
too,
fucks.
like-
She's the
She
queen
gives-
I love
Westeros
it.
deserves.
Yes, well, that sounds interesting. See, and then, of course, the interesting thing about this scene and the big play out of it is Jon and Sansa's. How's that going to work? Which was
Bit
one
of
of the biggest
tension.
questions.
Yeah.
A bit of tension is putting it lightly, I think, as it was kind of hinted at last season, especially of like the way Littlefinger was looking at her when Jon was like crowned king of the North and all this sort of thing, and they kind of had this shot last season of her being like, "Oh, I'm happy," but you could tell she was like, "I
I'm not
kind of
being
want to be
charged.
queen,
I kinda wanna
like
pull the
maybe."
strings.
Yeah, I kind of want to pull the string. So yeah, but Jon did not look happy at all when she starts just calling out shots from the sideline.
It went
Here.
I thought that it was going to be like, because she made some good points. You're like, oh, he's
Yeah.
going to like back down to her, and he was like, no, you shut the fuck up.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm the king. We're doing
But-
what I say.
But the big question is like, whose side do you want? I'm very much on Sansa's side.
Really?
Like, I listening to everything that Jon's
She's
on
half
about,
the reason
I'm-
they're
I'm-
in this fucking trouble. That stupid
No.
girl.
What she says later makes perfect fucking sense. Like in the scene or two after this, I think, or straight after this, is when they're talking in the walkway. It's like, I loved Rob, I loved our dad, but look what happened to them. They made dumb decisions because they tried to stick to like lineage and like do things traditionally and like be proper and like
I don't know about
was that was Ned Stark's biggest problem was that he was so naive by trying to follow like a code oath or something like that, and Rob was very much the same. Like he was too trusting in people, too trying to follow the things.
No, well, he got himself killed because he banged the wrong girl. That's his fault. So if anything, he's the rule breaker of the family.
Oh, sorry.
He is the oathbreaker. He made an oath and he broke it.
I'm listening. I'm like, what happened last time you trusted people too much, Mr. Jon Snow? Oh, you got stabbed 1,000,000 times in the stomach. So maybe listen to your sister this lifetime.
I like that he has honor. I like that about him. And
Me too, but
he
I
sticks to his
just
guns.
don't.
I think he was right in this situation. I don't know if
Yeah,
he'll play it.
I agree.
Not every time, but this time he was right. I mean, those two kids, you're going to kick them out of their home?
They're so little.
They're so
Look.
tiny.
I never said kick them out of their home. They can still live there. Just put someone else in charge of it or something like that. Maybe it's fine. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. I think that's going to be one of the.
It's an interesting dynamic that you weren't expecting coming in.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the interesting dynamics for the season going forward. Of course, is like who's actually in charge of the North? Like, is it Rob or
Jon?
does Sansa like start? Sorry, is it Jon or does Sansa start just pulling on? Rob comes back to life. Oh, God.
And Littlefinger obviously have his little finger and things.
Yes,
He wants to get his little finger in things.
Yeah. Oh my God. Naughty boy. All right, so then we get Cersei, catch up on Cersei.
Great.
She's
Fantastic character.
completely batshit crazy. Completely batshit crazy.
Love her.
Absolutely lost her mind. If there was like that shot we talked about in our first episode, like the shot at the end of last season where she sits on the throne, it's just like
Yeah,
it's kind of like she's the Mad King. She's the Mad Queen.
yeah.
Really?
I agree. Yeah.
Because there's that one line where so she's talking to Jamie, she's like, look, we own all this kingdom, our father trained us for this, blah 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 blah, let's get our armies, we're gonna attack these fucks, we're gonna attack these fucks, we're gonna attack all these fucks, and everything Jamie says makes perfect sense. He's like, it's winter, we don't have any food, no food, can't feed the army, no army, can't win battles, you fucking insane. Like, and then eventually he's just like, and we didn't talk about the death of our son, which is a problem a lot of people had at the end of the last season. They was like, those two never actually talked about his suicide. And he's like, he fucking committed suicide. Cersei's like,
Yeah,
he's a
fuck
little
him.
shitty.
He's a
fuck
traitor.
yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck that fucker. He's a
And
traitor.
I think she's in
as soon as
denial.
she said that, I was
or
like,
in
No,
some
she's
sort.
just a cunt.
I was like, she is.
Yeah, she went off the deep end.
She's officially going off the deep
I
end.
did like the scene because it was shot on that map that he was painting.
It was very cool.
And it sort of set up
the
sort
and everything.
all the families and how the battle's going to play out. Yeah,
her particular line where she points out on the map on the ground like what we're going to see this season, more or less. She's like, got enemies to the north, enemies to the south, enemies to the west, enemies fucking coming at my ass here. Like, it's just like this is what this season's going to be. So yeah, it was a great moment. Nonetheless, Cersei is officially batshit crazy as far as I'm concerned. She's not even she's not tilting. She's off.
Yeah,
she's off.
She's great though. She's like I like it when she's on screen because it's always interesting.
Oh, the actress that plays her is fucking fantastic.
Lena Headey's great.
Lena Headey. Lena Headey's
great. But that character itself, I just think she's great. I think she's one of the best things about the show. She just brings so much.
She does. And then the next scene is you got this Greyjoy fucker that I was like,
you're on Greyjoy.
I was like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about him. He's a thing. I remember when he killed the
dude on the bridge. He kind of just rocked up. Yeah,
Theon's dad.
Yeah. I liked that. That was probably my favorite scene from the whole episode where he
stole the show, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. When he's in the thing,
very charismatic.
Very charismatic. Very just like he pushed. Like you could see Jaime squirming in his boots, and just like obviously asks for to marry Cersei, and like
straight up,
he's like, I'm here for a beautiful queen, and and you can see her. She's like, she likes it. Like she's smiling.
She has a little. At one stage, she like smirks, and then she's like, "I decline you."
Yeah, but like,
and then when he's like, "I'll go find you a gift," she's like,
Two things. So two things out of that scene, which I think were really, really cool. Probably the best moment of the entire thing. He's like, I've got. I can't remember what he said, what he started with, but he's like, I've got, a functioning mouth, or something, and two functioning hands.
I've got two functioning hands.
Two functioning hands, and you just see like Jaime like fucking. He's like,
wanted to kill him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then as he's leaving, he's like, "Well, I'll bring you a gift, and I'll bring you a gift that you'll never forget." So it's like, okay, what's that gift? Where's he headed now? Where's he going to rock up? Who's he going to kidnap? It's obviously a person. It's not like he's like, I brought you some gold. He's going to come back with.
I presume it's
Tyrion. I thought Tyrion was my first thought. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I guess that has to how's he get to Tyrion? Because then he's got to go and fight the dragons and stuff. So that's why I was sort of like, I don't think it's Tyrion. I feel like it's something else. Like maybe he's going north, or but then he's on land. Like I don't know. It's going to be very
Lady
interesting
Tyrell.
to see.
The old lady,
maybe.
Where's she?
Where's
she hidden away?
Well, she went home, didn't she?
She went home.
Did she? Oh, she probably. Oh, she went home.
Yeah, funny back to the land of the rose, or wherever they come from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
But that was my favourite scene of the show, for sure.
I enjoyed it. The character pisses me off because I'm just like,
he's meant to
sit the fuck down. Like you're really annoying me with your.
He's very eccentric.
Mate.
No, he's great. He's very brash. He seems to be almost a different character to what he was in the previous seasons, where he was a bit of a drunkard kind of bogan sort of character, and now he's come in and he's like a smooth talking Jack Sparrow type pirate kind of guy.
What I am looking forward to between him and the girl that's Theon's sister or whatever it is, naval battles in Game of Thrones, like actual naval battles, because we haven't had proper
naval battles,
boat v boat stuff really. So
Master and Commander stuff.
Master and Commander.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the big like the last time they did a sort of big epic water battle, the CGI was a bit off, and then with the last one that they did, the one at the Unsullied, and when the dragon comes back, and sometimes they don't look as great. The Battle of the Bastards was fantastic as far as a big scale battle, but I sort of don't get too excited about like the big grand set pieces for Game of Thrones. What I'm sort of more interested in is those shock moments, the characters, like the monologues and stuff like that. That's sort of what gets me going.
So they go from the scene of the Greyjoy guy who you're like, oh yeah, I remember when they spent 2 episodes on him last season or whenever, and they fuck it off. And then they're like, here's Sam again.
Yay!
Do you remember him in the library? And everyone's
Sammy!
Sam the janitor.
Sammy!
oh yeah, what's he up to? And
he's up to shit.
is one of the most interesting scenes in the fucking show because the first rotation of whatever the fuck they're doing is like soup, shit, pour, burr, and then they just start speeding it up, and I was like, oh, this scene's kind of
solid editing. Solid editing
here. It's like, it was like, oh dear, Sam, you're officially a slave.
They that was necessary for him, and also like to move the story along with the dragon glass and stuff like that. So quite a pivotal moment where he breaks into the thing. I thought it was a bit like there was like the payoff almost. I was waiting for him to be like. So, like, it goes through, obviously, he's speaking to the Maester. The Maester, says he believes him, but then nothing sort of comes of that. Steals the keys, goes, finds the book, gets the information about the dragon glass, sends the Raven to Jon Snow about the dragon glass. Great. He's walking down that corridor, and I'm like, oh, he's going to get, like... I'm like, this is the moment in the show where someone dies. I'm like, they're going to kill him here, because my thought is he's been caught. Like, someone's found out he's broken into the thing, he's going to get jumped, he's going to get fucked up, something's going to happen to Sam. And they sort of flipped it, and
it was a cool moment.
It was a cool moment with obviously the reveal of Jorah.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, with the... Like, it took me a second, I thought it was just a hand, and then he's like, is the Dragon Queen here, or whatever. And
I recognised I was listening to his voice, I was like, who is that? And I was like, oh, it's...
When they did the profile of him on the side, you could sort of... I was like, okay, I'm like,
Charlie's
cool.
place.
Like, that was a good, like, reveal moment, but I sort of... It was almost like... I was sort of like, so Sam... Like, there was no consequence for what Sam did.
Not yet.
Which I was sort of... Not yet, but... I felt like they were building to that. The tension, they built the tension really, walking down that corridor. Like that tension was, palpable.
Yeah.
And nothing sort of came other than the Sojourn reveal.
Again, how did he get there?
To me, 'cause
it's like on the other side of the world.
I think
the last we saw of him was like,
go and find a cure.
I will not come back to Daenerys until I find a cure. Yeah. Next scene we see of him, oh fuck, I'm locked up in a cell.
And it's like, I think his arm is now.
Yeah.
What I presumed happened, so these are like the knowledge people, right? Yeah. These aren't police.
No.
My assumption is that he's gone there to find a cure. He's like,
he's being
cure
tested
me, and they, they're like experimenting on him and stuff. So that's what I presume is he's there for, because they're not exactly like military police.
No,
like, do you know what I mean? They don't really seem to have many soldiers or anything there.
The next two scenes I thought were very, like, the two biggest throwaway scenes of the episode. The first one is Brienne training the Padawan or whatever.
Yeah,
Pod
with the big dick.
And then what's his face walking over from the thing's been like giving a googly eyes.
Torment,
you lucky man.
Brienne and Torment 1 TP.
Yeah, I was like, this is. And then, of course, that's tied in with this. That's tied in with the scene of
Littlefinger,
Littlefinger talking to Sansa. But even then, I was like, this whole kind of seems way like unnecessary filler, and it was just to show you, like, here's what Brienne and those two are going to hit it off this season. Yeah. And then they go from this scene to the really weird scene, which is Arya and fucking Ed Sheeran, and in a row, these two scenes in a row was like the kind of dead 10 minutes to me, I suppose. Like,
I felt like it was sort of went with the tone of the entire episode. It was sort of like it's all just setups. It's all just, here's this character, this is what they're doing, and it's sort of built everything up to what.
These two scenes in particular just felt like nothing.
Yeah, but they're nothing. But you know what? Like, those are they're nothing characters. I think that's the sort of the whole point with Brienne and Pod and like the dude and
Arya is not a nothing character.
She's not significant to the story as far as, the whole... She's not. She might as well not be there, do you know what I mean? Like, she's no... other than, like, killing Walder Frey, she's done nothing for the last 4 seasons.
The only scene...
She's been building up to the point where she can do something.
She is now a master stealth killer.
Yeah, she's
going to
cold-blooded.
fuck shit up.
She murdered, like, 50 people.
Yes, at the opening show, she murdered like 50 people. She's the only person to kill anyone in the entire season so far, and her body count's
fucking high.
Skyrocketed.
How time she fucking did something? It's only taken her 6 seasons to pull her finger out. Jesus Christ.
She's probably killed more people than fucking Robb Stark or Jon Snow.
Oliver Queen was on that island for 5 years. Batman was in training for like 20, I don't know.
My name is Arya Stark. For 4 years, I lived in the Bank City. Now,
Anyway, no, I felt like those scenes went in line with the whole show in that they felt insignificant because those characters feel insignificant, especially with the Pod and Brienne.
and Pod and Brienne, that's
what I mean. So they're like, okay, this is the narrative that's going to like everyone got like their narrative. It's like, Arya's her narrative is she's on her way to King's Landing. She's going to kill the Queen. Okay, great.
This is the thing that annoyed me about that scene.
It's a pretty song. I've never heard it before.
It's a new one.
Are you hungry? We've got some rabbit.
I don't want to steal your food.
You're not stealing, we're offering.
Ed Sheeran, all this, whatever. And then that whole scene's payoff is her going, like, where the guy's like, where are you going? She's like, oh, I'm going to King's Landing to kill the Queen. I would have much preferred to have seen her in the bush just riding on a horse this episode and being like, and the episode ended and being like, I wonder if she's going to the north or the south, and just left it more open, because the big reveal of like, I'm going to kill the Queen, it didn't like hit. And I'm like, could have left it as a secret.
Again, it's setting up for what she's going to do in the season, but it was probably just a bit heavy-handed.
Yeah, very heavy-handed, I thought. I was like, great.
Yeah,
and that scene was like nothing. I mean, you were expecting it to
much awkward. It went too long.
It's like, did Ed Sheeran like donate $500,000 or something to the cost? Or
he wrote that song for the show. That's what happened.
He's like, it's a new one.
So he got a cameo.
So fuck off, Ed.
Fucking
it's kind of weird because
so my favorite scene of the episode was the next one, which was catching up with the Hound and his experience with the Brotherhood without banners. I love this character so much. Now he's one of my favorite characters in the show, which is so.
He's the character who's probably progressed the most.
The best, exactly. And you notice, like, I'm watching this his scene. And I'm just like, fuck. I remember when this dude, for the first 2-3 seasons, was just like a mindless bodyguard dude. Like, he was just, like, no character, at all. And now he's, like, getting upset about, like, families dying, and he's got all this history about being killed, and you can see it wearing on him, and you can see his, like, faith being twisted because he's with these people. Great.
He has some great dialogue as well, compared to...
Well, he says your favourite word, so...
He's great, but his timing is impeccable with that. Like, the actor, I'm not sure of his name, but his delivery of those lines is like, the guy, I can't remember what it is. The guy's like, oh, what do you think? He's like, it's something, you dumb cunt. Like, it's just like brilliant. Like,
my favorite one was when they go inside and the dude's looking at the fire and he's like, Clegane, come over here and look in the fire. He's like, oh, look in the fire, because his whole experience where his face getting put in the fire, and he's like, nah, come over here and look at the fire. He goes, stands in the fire, look into the flames, and just the way he says it, he's like, I don't want to look in the damn flames. Like, the guy's delivery, this is straight up, and he's like, you dumb cunt. Like, I don't want to look at the...
He's great. No, he's great, and he's really, like, you can see, like, character developing and like becoming more human. It's probably the biggest thing, rather than just being this brute sort of bodyguard that he had been for the first few seasons. Is now he's like getting upset in the middle of the night and burying the dad and the kid that he sort of screwed over like a couple of seasons back.
Well, he stole from him, didn't he? That was the whole...
Yeah, he broke the dude's leg or whatever and stole his gold.
Yeah. Now he has like a conscience, feels bad.
That was sad though. That was like you saw like that moment sort of hit me when they go into it and the dad and the kid are like holding each other in the corner. I was like, oof. Oof.
Great scene, but that's my personal favourite scene of the episode. I think this one I thought was great.
Yeah.
And then with the next scene after that was the Sam stuff you already talked about. They cut back to him to do the big reveal with old mate Rockhand. And then the scene after that, which they timed very well, is of course because he's like, is the Dragon Queen landed yet? And then they finally cut to everyone's favourite character, that Jax. Daenerys. What's Dany up to? What's she doing? And you know what?
Walking.
She only got a couple episodes. She only got like a couple minutes in this epised.
Thank God.
And I really enjoyed
the way
this episode ended.
Peter Dinklage said nothing.
I know. I thought the way this scene played out was fantastic. The way she finally hits the sand. Like, she's finally on the land that she's been building towards getting to, talking about for like 6 seasons now. She finally gets there. And they have this really cool music playing where it's like a mix of the Game of Thrones theme mixed in with some new music I think they made for her. As the gate starts opening, this tune just kicks in, like, and I kind of was like, oh, I'm kind of feeling really happy for her at this moment as she's finally like walking into her family
Ancestral
home. Ancestral home. And I really enjoyed the fact that no one spoke. Everyone just walks in, just walks around, has a look. There's the throne, here's the room, and then, all right, let's get started. Credits.
Yeah,
Jack,
I thought it was a weird. I had a weird feeling through that scene. It was sort of. I thought it dragged for a bit, but it was. It's almost like they're. I got this weird vibe. It was like, like it was like a great success that they'd got there. I didn't get the feeling of like.
Well, it is.
Yeah, but like I feel like that the way they portrayed it was that it was this, like, that was the victory. And then it was sort of like, I'm like, job's not done.
It's a victory for the audience.
No, it was almost like they got there and I'm like, we've won, like, we've got to this place. And I'm like, but that's not where you were, like, they almost made it feel too much like it was a victory to get there. Like, it should have been like...
It's just because it was an ancestral place.
Yeah, I know, but I think they played it wrong. I feel like they should have been like, we're here, and it was a bit more determined. It was almost like she got there and it was this, like, relief, oh my God. Like, I know they were trying to play it up as it's her home and all that, and that's where she was born, but like, that's the feeling, that like, that's the emotion that I wanted to see from her when she gets to King's Landing. That she's been trying to get there for 7 seasons, and she's finally there. Not like this, place that we only really have been to a couple of times through the show. It's only been brought up now, in this episode, and all of a sudden it's this amazing importance that she's never mentioned it before in any episode. It's only been in 2 or 3 other episodes when Stannis was in the show, and it's sort of brought up now as this important thing. I just felt like it was a bit too much in that they played it up like it was this, like this was the big victory they've been working towards for 7 seasons. It's like, well, no, the job's not only really just started now. And then they sort of like get to the end and she's like, all right, shall we begin? I'm like, that should have been the tone of that entire thing. It should have been a bit more, like, we're moving towards it, like, rather than being like in awe and sort of like walking really slowly and this really emotional thing. It should have been a bit more determined.
She was having her family moment.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when her bodyguard dude, like the Unsullied dude, goes to walk towards her, the girl like grabs her backwards and is like, no, just let her. She's taking it all in. She's like, this is my family home kind of thing. And then, eventually she kind of just has that breather moment where she's like, all right, now let's actually get on with it.
Yeah, it felt like the end of a chapter and like the start of a new one for her.
Start of a new one. Yeah,
maybe.
That's why I really...
I just felt like it could have gone a different way, a bit more of a determined sort of thing than it was like... Yeah, it just felt weird. It felt weird for me, but I'm obviously in the minority on that one.
Yes, a little bit. All right, let's wrap up with the question I'm going to be asking each and every week. Ash, who do you think's going to end up on the throne?
Yep,
Danny still? That was your answer last week?
Cersei is definitely going to die this season. I mean, she's...
Is there anything that happened in this episode that's helped kind of...
Developing how crazy she is, that she's willing to fight everybody, anytime, anywhere. Yeah. I think that's going to be
even
her undoing.
If she can't. Yeah. Completely get it. Jack, who do you think's going to end up on the throne this season?
I still think Danny. Yeah, I still think she'll be... I just, but at the same time, I feel like that's too easy. That's too easy for them. I feel like that's too easy. It could be anyone. It could be Jaime. It could be Tyrion. Well, who knows? Next
week's episode, the preview, was the Greyjoy sister being like, you know what? We've got dragons, we've got boats, we've got people. Let's just go take King's Landing today. So, I mean, I remember one of my predictions was they would kill Cersei in like the first...
You said she was going to be the first one to die, didn't you?
Yeah, so I really hope that comes true. I just want them to march in with dragons and be like, Cersei's dead, episode 2.
She brings too much. She can't, like... You can't... It was almost like when they killed, like, Rob and that. It was almost like, well, there's no good... that feeling when...
there was no good guys left.
Who are we supposed to support?
It's almost going to be like, well, there's going to be no bad guys left then. When
there's heaps of bad guys.
If they kill Cersei, but none that really matter. You know what I mean?
Only the White Walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, yeah. And the Ironborn, but they're nothing. Like, they'll die. They're inconsequential. They'll die when they're ready to die, I guess.
Yeah. My pick is still the same. I'm sticking to Littlefinger until I get proof that
Jeez,
it'll be
I
anyone else.
don't
I
know.
still think that I still like that little finger curveball. He comes in with a little pen at the end of the last episode of the season, just stabs whoever's left alive in the eye.
He couldn't even
Sits on the
convince a
phone.
young girl to do what he wanted. He couldn't even manipulate
Yeah.
her. He was
Okay,
gonna manipulate-
alrighty, okay. Settle down there, you.
Nonetheless, thank you for talking, everyone, today. South of King's Landing. For the first episode, really enjoyable episode. We will be back again next week to talk. Some of us from the Explosion Network to talk episode 2. I'm really excited for this season. I'm really pumped. I'm really glad to have Game of Thrones back on my television set. It's really exciting hearing that theme tune
it's
again on a
Yeah,
on a
that
night.
was
It's just
good. That was
yes.
like, that
Yes.
was a good feeling.
feels
I had,
good,
a,
but
I
it's
had a
gonna be
little,
short-lived.
I had a little Chewie we're home moment when the music
Yes.
came. Yeah,
Yes, because it's been a long time. It has been a long time.
definitely. Yeah,
And it's going to go fucking fast. So let's just strap in and enjoy it, I guess,
Yeah.
because only 6 more episodes
Important
already.
question. Important
nonetheless,
question. Do we know if Ed
Yes.
Sheeran's going to be in episode 2?
oh
fuck
god,
off.
I
I
hope not.
fucking hope not.
She murders him
Thank
at the
you for
start of
joining us,
episode 2.
everyone.
That's what.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more.
The Mad King's daughters will destroy the realm.
We have an army, a fleet, and 3 dragons. We should hit King's Landing now.